Hey guys, welcome to my studio. Thanks for stopping by today. We're going to work on a really sweet project today that's going to introduce you to making mosaics. And we can do this with things that we have hanging around in our house. This is going to be the mosaic that we're going to be working on today. So, some of the things that you need to gather so that we can get started are a glue stick, a pair of scissors, some paper. Now this can be origami paper that you have, this can be scrapbook paper that you have, this could be construction paper, or if you want to take this project a step further, something else that you can do is you can use painted papers. Now all these are simple computer papers that have been printed with acrylic paint. And you can use acrylics, watercolors, tempera paints, whatever you have on hand. And if you don't have paint on hand, no worries. Just take some colored pencils, crayons, or markers and just do random designs on your pieces of paper. And these can be used to make your mosaics and add extra depth and interest. You also might want a hole punch or a square punch like this. If you're a scrapbooker or something like that, you may have one of these on hand. This is a 5/8 inch square for this. Now, this project can be done for different age groups. This isn't just for adults. You can do this for kids. The one thing I would tell you though is that if you're going to do younger children, the thing you need to do is probably use a large sheet like this one. This is a 12-inch sheet of cardstock that you can use, or chipboard, or even just a stiff piece of paper if you want. This is a 12 by 12. And then as a child gets older, you can take and squish that size down a little bit because they'll have more dexterity in their fingers and they'll be able to work with smaller pieces. The piece that I have today that we're going to work on is simply 4 by 4, and that's just for time frame. So the longer, this project can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour or more, just depending on how detailed you want to get and how small your pieces are. So, like I said, you're going to need a piece of paper for this, and the colored papers that I told you about, we're going to take and either punch holes in them like this, and make a nice little square, or we're just going to take a regular piece of construction paper, however big, and you can cut them. Or you can take your painted papers too and cut them into various sizes. Now again, if you're working with younger children, they may need larger sizes to work with like this because of dexterity. The older you get, the smaller you get with pieces of paper. And this, I oftentimes use these teeny tiny little pieces of paper like this. I don't know, I like the interest of using small pieces of paper. So let's get started. We're gonna put our piece of paper out on our board here. And we're going to draw something very simple on it. When you're first starting with mosaics, you don't want to add a lot of detail into your piece until you get the hang of what we're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a simple heart here. On my piece of paper. You can see I have a heart shape there. And now I'm going to start picking out my pieces of paper. So I've decided that I want to do the red on the inside like a standard heart. So you're going to get out your glue and you're just going to put a little bit of glue on that piece of paper like this. And then you're going to stick it right up to the line on your heart. Okay. Make sure that you have all your colors and pieces cut before you start this project. I find that when I'm working on a mosaic, there's something very beautiful about the methodical, kind of mundane placement of these pieces, and yet there's also this adventure of finding just the right piece for just the right space. People often ask me if I listen to music when I'm in the studio, and when I'm doing mosaic, that is something I do. I tend to listen to music. It just kind of helps me get in the rhythm, and I've done that from the very beginning. Like the very first mosaic project I worked on, I started playing music in the background while I was working. So you just want to go all the way around the outside and inside of this heart, following that line. Okay. Now, as you continue to work, you may find that, the pieces that you cut may not be exactly the right shape that you need. So what you can do is you can take a piece of your colored paper and you can take a look. So like I'm going to use this little piece of paper and try to cut something that's going to fit into that hole. This is really a great way to increase your awareness of shapes and what fits into a negative space. So this space in between here is what we would call a negative space. And then we're just going to try and fit our shape in there as best we can. So see, we cut a little shape that fits right in there. Now, as you can see, we're making, in each of these pieces, I'm leaving black line in between there. And that's because in a real mosaic piece, this would get covered in with grout. But we're not doing that because this is paper. So we want to leave black, or whatever your base color is, open underneath there to represent the grout lines. Now you might want to have like a washcloth or a towel or paper towel beside you while you're working in case you need to wipe your hands off. So now we're going to, you get the gist of this. You just go around your whole heart and get that inside done, okay? And then I'm cutting a few yellow pieces here. This is actually, I believe, scrapbook paper. And you can do a combination of different types of paper. It just creates interest. As you can see, these were painted and they've got, variations of red on them. I find that the more different colors I have, the more I find it makes an interesting composition. So as you can see, I'm also leaving grout lines around here. Now if you get one that kind of goes off to the edge like this, no worries. What you can do is simply take your scissors and just give it a trim right up to the end. So there you go. Oops, let's get it stuck down here. My fingers are getting sticky. Don't panic, we will get this stuck down. Well, there you go. Now you can see that you just go all the way around your heart, and when you're done, you end up with something like this. Now I still have a few yellow pieces to put on the outside, but you can see how that's going to look when you're done. The painted papers, like I said, make a mosaic just simply amazing. But you can also do it with construction paper or scrapbook paper or origami paper or whatever you have on hand. Just get creative, dig in those drawers you haven't dug before, and look for something that you could use to make a simple project like this. What I want to challenge you with is when you've made a project like this, or you've had a kid make a project like this, I would love to see what you've created. So I would love it if you would share it with me. Simply email it to me at ann@envisiongalleries.com. That's ANN@ENVISIONGALLERIES.com. I would love to see what you've made, and I'd love to share it with others if that's okay with you. I look forward to seeing your emails and your projects. I hope this helps bring a little bit of art into your life today. Thanks for joining me in the studio. We'll catch you next time.